I want to thank Bassam for inviting me. Unlike Jennifer, and I didn't have a family vacation in Korea. The title should be A Short, Hot Summer in Korea. I was there for about 20 nights between late July, early August. Actually, I was hoping to bring, our daughters and my wife there for a little bit because, I would give some lectures at Yonsei University, a very good private university in Korea, and they gave me a two-bedroom apartment for foreigners. So I thought, we could leverage. But that was before the Singapore summit between Trump and Kim. And there was a talk about bloody nose, and I was wondering whether I should go at all. And so my family decided not to come, right? Because, kind of potentially dangerous. And one reason is that Seoul is really close to DMZ, right? And it's about 35 miles from Seoul to DME, demilitarized zone. And by contrast, to give you a context, from here to the White House is about 18 miles. So it's only about twice, the distance. And in fact, if we go to Manassas, GMU's Manassas campus, that distance is actually slightly longer than distance between Seoul and DMZ. Just imagine if we have someone so close to the White House, with guns, nuclear weapons, missiles, right? And this would be far more serious than the Cuban Missile Crisis. I actually checked. Cuba, distance from Cuba to Miami is about 10 times the distance between DMZ and Seoul. Okay, this is really not a travel tale, and nothing exotic anymore. I've been traveling quite a lot. Things may be different in different places in the world, but they are not exotic. And this is also not research report. I didn't go there for any specific research agenda. Just some general comments. The first point is that it was just really hot, and was a record-breaking heat, nonstop, not even at night, and just day in and day out. And you will read by morning another record-breaking day historically, just continue, right? And actually I found out other parts of the world was hot too, Paris and other places. So my first impression is that climate change is definitely real, is serious. I put in this picture just sent to Bassam. This is actually in DMZ. This is the meeting place where North Koreans and South Koreans and Americans would negotiate. This is the very room. And I was on the North Korean side. And there was a line on the ground. I couldn't find anything that looked serious. I was smiling. This is a very severe situation. This deadly serious. I was smiling, and I realized I was really happy to be in a nice and cool place. It was really hot outside. And it was so hot that it was very hard to think about threat from North Koreans. And North Koreans were nowhere to be seen. They were too smart and they stayed inside. You had some South Korean soldiers. In the background, that's a South Korean, right? And they take that post to frighten North Koreans and also visitors, so that you behave yourself. We were told. Anyway, so climate change is a huge thing, and I'll just leave it at that. The second thing is that how South Koreans are handling this sort of a serious threat. It's so close to their capital city, right? We hear the number 20 million, 30 million in that close area, thousands of guns aiming at South Korea and can destroy much of it in a hurry. It's actually amazing that they seem to be handling it just fine. Of course, they are worried, and but at the same time, they seem to have adapted to it, and there was a daily routine, and I think the mood was definitely better after the summit, right? And part of it, the sense is that there's not going to be any imminent conflict. And so that's kind of interesting. The other thing is that South Koreans are also quite divided ideologically. Lots of them hate North Korea, right? And some people want to sort of to reconcile to some extent, have to reach out to North Korea. The current president, President Ming, certainly wants to improve relations with North. And I don't know whether you read the Washington Post this morning, and they are trying to sort of bridge the gap between the United States and North Korea. And President Moon has invested so much political capital in this. And in some way, he's really leading the process. But he has been very smart. And he has given all the credit to President Trump, at least publicly. Although he doesn't seem to measure up to Chairman Kim, right? I haven't read Chairman Kim's letter to President Trump. Apparently, it was a beautiful letter, high flattery, so we'll have to see. But one thing that's very clear is that South Koreans do not want war, and that seems to be absolutely clear, right? For a very good reason. They live so close to North Korea, and they had the Korean War, which was devastating. Millions of people died, right? And sometimes you actually hear them joke about this. You say, and those are the people who are very critical of the United States. Or Japan, they would argue that Americans and Japanese want to fight North Korean to the last South Korean. Right? You can sort of see that sentiment. And I think President Trump is not very popular in South Korea, right? There's a number of things he has been saying and trade. The U.S. is still very popular. I think the U.S. remains the most popular country in South Korea, right? And this is actually very similar throughout East Asia. Although the concern is that if we have another Trump after this Trump, right, the sort of similar rhetoric, similar behavior, and then the trust in the U.S. may diminish. So I just stopped there. Just a few quick comments. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.